Hey everybody, welcome back to the Big Intentions podcast. I'm your host, Iralyn, and so excited to be back on the pod this week. I feel like a week is so long in podcast time. Like, it feels like so long since I've caught up with you guys. But anyways, we're diving into a super important topic today. I'm really excited to talk about it. Let me just fix this camera angle. If you're on YouTube, you just saw that happen, but if not, you're listening. We love you, Spotify and Apple Podcast listeners. Anyway, so the topic this week, it's something that's taken me years to realize and put into practice. And honestly, I'm still perfecting it and refining my skills in this area. I don't know if you can ever be like 100% at everything. So this is one of those areas that I just think is really important to talk about. And I'm excited to dive into today's podcast episode and share with you more about protecting your energy, protecting your peace, that whole conversation. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. But if you're watching this on YouTube, would love if you could subscribe to the channel. You'll stay up to date with all the new videos that I post. And, you can like this podcast, and that would be really helpful and supportive. So I appreciate that. And then if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, if you would leave a 5-star rating or review, that really helps the podcast, and it's a great way to support me. So I appreciate it. And without further ado, we can just jump right into the podcast, into the segments. So living out loud. It was the first week of July this past week, and honestly really focused on like the mini cut or whatever that I mentioned last week. And so that basically is, me being on my fitness grind and health and nutrition grind. So that's positive. All is well in that area. Things are going good. I feel like I've been on like a 1 million walks, like in the heat, just straight up hot girl walks every day pretty much. And then also the 4th of July was this week, so it was on Tuesday. And honestly, holidays are kind of weird now for me. Like, I don't really look forward to holidays except for like literally the time off, because when you're not around family for the holidays, it's just like you're on social media or whatever, you just see everybody with their families, and just kind of a bummer, honestly. So I don't like love the holidays for that reason. I know that's like kind of depressing, whatever, it's fine. But yeah, so like it just wasn't with my family, and that's just not always fun. So if you're out there and like you don't get to spend a lot of time with your family, or, you just couldn't make it happen around the holidays or whatever, I'm with you, totally get it. So anyways, at least I have Spencer because we like were able to do stuff, but like I literally did not even see fireworks this year. I'm like so unpatriotic for that, and that's just like so unlike me to not like literally go do stuff and be festive. Like my whole personality is being like celebration, I'm an Enneagram 7. Like I love to celebrate anything and everything. Like give me an excuse to celebrate something. Like I'll do it easily, happily. And so for me to not literally celebrate the 4th of July felt so wrong. For me to not celebrate things is just weird. It's out of character. So basically I really just wanted potato salad on the 4th of July. That did not happen for me. Rude. Like a hot dog. I was going to make a corn dog, but whatever, that did not happen. For some reason, I thought making a pot roast this past week on Sunday was a good idea. But then heads up, don't make a pot roast for one because you're going to have to eat the whole thing. And so I did that, and I literally had like pot roast 5 days in a row. Not 5 meals in a row. And it was just a lot, So anyways, all of that to be said, for the 4th of July, I ended up going to the movies, which was good, and I tanned by the pool. So like, still kind of festive, but like not really, just kind of like a normal summer day. Anyways, so the movies that can lead me into my content recs, so I'll just like get into it. Not to sound like I'm complaining or anything about the, 4th of July situation, but I just wanted to be honest and be like, it's not always glitz and glam. It's not always real to say like, oh my gosh, I had the best 4th ever. Cause like, yes, I had fun and like I'm grateful for what I did have, but also I felt like I was like missing out a little bit. Anyways, that's like a whole other thing. But whatever. So basically, content recs, went and saw Elemental, which is like a Pixar. It's giving like Inside Out kind of vibes. So it's like about the 4 elements, like wind, water, earth, fire. Yeah. And basically, Super cute, clever movie. Honestly, I would watch it again. It was really fun. So like even if you're an adult, like you can go and enjoy that movie. So I went and saw that on 4th of July. That was super cute. I was into it. Also, I forgot to mention a couple weeks ago, I saw the new Spider-Man movie, which is like an animated movie. And honestly, I didn't know how I felt about like, ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I really did like it, which was concerning because I think anime, low-key red flag, like if someone watches anime, like no shade. If you do, I bet some of you are normal, and not that you have to be normal, but just like, it's just freaky. I've just had, like we won't have to get into the whole anime thing, but it's just a little weird. But I'm weird. I love weird. Anyways, back to Spider-Man. It was a really good movie. And I really liked it. The soundtrack was awesome. So, highly recommend that movie as well. I feel like finally we're getting some good summer movies. I don't know if summer is like the time for movies, but it seems like there's a lot of good releases out. So, in terms of like TV shows or whatever, I finished The Bear season 2. It slayed. It was so good. Highly recommend that show. It's on Hulu. And so yeah, that's basically all in terms of like TVs and TV shows, whatever. I kind of started watching The Bachelorette, even though I kind of boycotted that season, but my friend recommended it, so I'm gonna do it just for her, honestly. That's the only reason I want to watch it. So we can chat about it, whatever. So yeah, I finished Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune, which is her second book, I believe. The first one was Every Summer After. No, maybe. I don't know what her first book is. They're all set at like a lake in Canada. And one, I like that it's set in Canada. Not that there was honestly a big difference in like the storylines or anything, but just, I don't know. I thought that was cool. So that book was pretty good. I was into it. It was a good like summer read for sure. But I need a thriller in my life just because those really keep me on my toes, and I like am so anxious to read like what's going to happen. And so I really like how thrillers are set up for that reason, because the romance ones, it's like they're pretty much always going to end up together, you know? Like honestly, I kind of want a bad ending just so I'll be shocked, something different. Anyways, that was my kind of book read. And now I'm reading The Summer of Broken Rules, which is a book that's based on Taylor Swift songs. Started it last night, 50 pages in. Honestly, slays. It's really good. I don't know, I keep saying slay. Anyways, I had cold brew before this and I'm like jolted. I'm really wired right now. So, bear with me on this episode, but it's fine. Okay, next segment, intentional living. So I've been getting after the mini cut, which was my intention for last week, was to increase my step count and to get ready every day. So step count's definitely hitting that goal. Every day I'm getting 12,000 steps is honestly not that hard if you go on a pretty long walk to start your day. So that's good. I've been really getting after it in the gym. So I've been going to my boyfriend's gym, which is just like they have a lot more like equipment and options there. And it's kind of fun being like a gym bro, like a fitness girly. So I've actually been really enjoying that, like 6 a.m. grind, we're getting after it in the gym. So that's fun. And which is kind of shocking, but like literally between my sets, like when I'm resting, I pull out my Kindle or like I'm journaling, and I know people in there are like, what the heck? So I'm not like a normal fitness girl, fitness junkie kind of vibe, but we're getting there. But it's fun to like just put your own spin on it. Like, I don't like to be on my phone in between the sets or whatever anyways. Like, just I don't want to be on Instagram at like 7 a.m. That's like not the vibe. So instead, I just journal, read, do whatever I need to do. It's kind of fun. My intention for this week, honestly, I don't really know. I don't really have an intention for this week. I feel like I'm kind of just like flying by the seat of my pants. Thankfully, it's like a shorter work week, so that's always nice. But yeah, my goal is just not be so like stressed about nothing, I've been doing my morning pages most days, and like that's helpful. But I saw this thing on Pinterest that was like, if you're anxious, let me pull it up because I thought it was like pretty good advice. It basically is like daily reminders. If you're overthinking, write. If you're anxious, move. If you're tired, read. If you're confused, walk. And if you're sad, exercise. And I just thought that like little kind of like, if you're this, do this was helpful. And maybe like I can like pin this as my background and like, oh, I'm overthinking, whatever. Okay, then I need to write. I just need to put it on paper and get it out of my brain. If I'm anxious, okay, get up, move around, shake it out, 5-minute dance party, whatever. I think that would be helpful for me because like I've really been getting in my head lately. And it's like, for what? You know what I mean? I know what my intention really should be is just to be more compassionate and calm and nice. Like, honestly, I just need to be nice to people. I just been getting worked up these days. Honestly, if you watch Elemental, I am fire. Like, I am temper girl. So we need to chill out a little bit. We need some water in my life. Anyways, so that wraps up the intentional living segment. I feel like I really got ranty in that for no reason. It's fine. But next segment, words to live by. Obviously, I found this quote on Pinterest and it goes, I'm very cautious about who has access to me lately, and it's not out of arrogance, it's out of the need to continue to protect my space and energy as I continue to do the work to elevate myself. This chapter requires me to be a little less accessible. And so this quote really kind of embodies the podcast episode and topic for today on protecting your energy, because I think it's really important to protect your energy, and I'll get into that and like what that really means, what that looks like, how you can protect your energy. But, this quote kind of is more focused on like people affecting your energy, and I think it's important to recognize when there are people that drain you or situations that you can put yourself in that aren't really conducive to conserving your energy or not expending your energy in ways that are productive for you. And it's really okay to be cautious about how you spend your energy. Don't just let anybody have access to your energy. It's okay to protect it, and it's okay to kind of like go inward for a little bit and to really focus on, one, building up your energy and using it and conserving it in ways that are necessary for you, because not everybody needs to have access to you all the time. And I think that's something that especially like women probably could really focus on this, because I think as women, a lot of times you let people access your energy more freely. Like if somebody calls you, you feel like the urge to answer, or somebody says they need something, or you're just like, I'm somebody who a lot of the times I will just go out of my way for people when it's like, yeah, that's a nice thing to do, but it really isn't necessary. And really like being picky almost about how I use my energy and expend it, because sometimes like I really need that because my energy is being drained in this other area that I can't really control. And so, I just think it's important. This whole conversation is important, but especially for women, I think it's important. So anyways, let's just get into the podcast episode, the main topic, protecting your energy. And so protecting your energy, a lot of people say protect your peace or whatever, and those are phrases that we often hear, but like, what does that really mean? And this is something that has been on my mind lately, and something that I definitely need to practice. And like everything that I usually talk about in a podcast episode, it's stuff that I need to hear also, so it's just like preaching to the choir basically. But the concept of protecting your peace or protecting your energy is about setting boundaries to protect or guard yourself from negative energy entering your life and deflecting you from your goals and dreams. So this energy, negative energy that comes from your life, into your life, whatever, if you're using your energy in ways that aren't conducive to your, systems and productivity that leads you to becoming your higher self. We want to find ways to use our energy in ways that will elevate us to become the highest version of ourselves. So a person's energy, so like what does that even mean? It sounds a little like woo-woo, but basically a person's energy is the way you carry yourself and interact with the world. It's a combination of your physical, emotional, and spiritual state. So there are several ways your energy is represented and displayed in your life and like in your being, but I'm more specifically talking about emotional and spiritual state in this episode, and how it affects your energy, but sometimes I feel like the emotional and spiritual can bleed into physical, and you can feel drained physically from situations that you're in, or just different people in your life can drain you in other ways and besides, emotional and spiritually. But really, that's what this podcast episode is about. Like, energy obviously can come from nutrition and sleep and things like that, but that's not really the focus of this episode. It's more of like that emotional and spiritual state. So I just wanted to kind of like preface that. So there are many factors that can affect a person's energy, and this includes thoughts, feelings, and experiences. And I believe you can feel and feed off of other people's energies as well. And that's why the quote, "You are the sum of the people you surround yourself with," I'm sure you've heard that. Like, parents always like preach that, like, watch out who you hang out with. But it's really true, because our energies are interacting and feeding off of other people, or our energies are being drained from people that are around us. I feel like if you're around like a sad person, it just like dampens the mood. Like, to me, that's an example of like, oh, this person is an energy drainer, like somebody always complaining or somebody always like moping around, whatever. That kind of energy is just like not fun to be around. You want to be around people that are light and make you feel better about yourself. And I think it's important who you surround yourself with, because it really does have an effect on your energy and can really, pull you away from your goals and your dreams. And expending energy in those areas can really take away from areas that you really want to focus on, and being intentional about those areas, because energy goes where intention flows. I think that's, yeah, energy flows where intention goes. So when you're intentional about who you're around, what you're doing with your energy, how you're using your energy, that is really going to affect your overall like energy levels in your life. Because whenever it's being taken from this area and put in this area that you're not really focused on, this area is being depleted, diminished, and then you don't have as much energy to give to these certain areas that you really want to put your focus in, because these are the areas that are going to take you and make you the highest version of yourself. So it all kind of leads back to intentionality and about being intentional with who you are around, how you spend your time. And, energy is really important in that conversation. So reasons why energy is important and why it's important to protect your energy. So one, your energy is your life source, and it's yours. It's no one else's. It's your life. When I was reading the Meet Me on the Lake book, it was talking about like, people sacrifice for your life, or maybe this was the movie. I don't even know at this point. But basically, people sacrifice, like your parents do all this for you, whatever, and you feel like you owe it to them. You owe your life to them, but ultimately it's your life. And same thing with energy. Like, yes, you may feel obligated to give people your energy, your attention, whatever, but ultimately it's your energy to give. And of course, we all have responsibilities and things like that, but at the end of the day, it is your energy, and you want to use it wisely and on things that matter to you. So that's why it's important to protect your energy, because it is your source of life. It's your livelihood. It's your mood. It's your feelings, your thoughts, everything like that can affect it. And so you have to be intentional about these things in order to protect your energy. So we deserve to protect, store, expand, release, conserve our energy. All of those things, it's our energy. We have control over a lot of our energy. We do have control over. I think some things, are going to slip maybe through the cracks, but really, if we have a good barrier, a good boundary, systems in place to protect our energy, then, it's ours to use however we see fit. So the energy that I'm talking about today isn't necessarily going to dive into like vibrations and auras and that kind of thing. But I think that's important, and like there's a lot of benefits to like vibrations, and different things have different vibrations and frequencies and all of that stuff, and like I just don't know enough about that yet to like speak to that, but I think that would be a really cool podcast episode. But what I want to talk about today is kind of more around like boundaries and the things that we can do to protect our energy and why it's important to protect our energy. Energy also is what gives you vitality, motivation, creativity, and it's important. Energy is important for that reason as well. Another reason that it's important to protect your energy is because negative energy can drain you. So, like I've kind of been already talking about this whole episode, but when you're around negative people or you're in negative situations or like toxic environments, this is where our energy can really drain you, and it can lead to feelings of fatigue, anxiety, and depression. And so, one example of this would be like being in a certain situation where like people are always like gossiping or something, being in a situation where you don't really want to participate in this thing, but that's like just what's happening around you. Those kind of places are energy drainers, and it's just like not a vibe. And sometimes it's hard to get out of these situations and to like speak up or say something about, I'm not really gaining anything from this interaction, this situation. And so obviously I don't want to be in it. And you can feel a difference. Like when you're around people that talk about other people, there's a quote, I gotta find it, but it's basically like small-minded people talk about people. Let me find it. It's a good one. Okay, it's this. It's by Eleanor Roosevelt. It's great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people. And so obviously everybody kind of, can fall into one of these categories at any given time. Nobody's perfect, whatever. But the idea that great minds discuss ideas, like I have always loved this quote for this reason, because it's so true that like when you're around people just talking about other people, it's like, do you really have nothing better to do? Like, is this really all that you care about? Like, why are you so focused on other people? Like that just doesn't never make sense to me. And like, of course, like I've gossiped before, and like, yes, I've talked about other people. Like that's not, ideal or anything, but I really try not to. And I try to avoid being in situations where this gets brought up, because it's just such an energy sucker. It's like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like literally, who cares? And so the idea that great minds discuss ideas, I love that. I love just talking about like deep, big picture things, or just like concepts. Like that is just like, that gives me energy. When I find people who like I can get deep with, and I can talk to the people about like that kind of thing, then that really just like fuels my soul. And I feel like that's an energy giver. And that's like how I dictate, like, do I vibe with this person? It's like, how quick can we get to the stuff that actually matters? You know what I mean? And so I think that protecting your energy is really important, because negative energy can really drain you. And you just know when you leave certain situations or certain people that you're like, I don't feel good about that. Like that's an energy drainer. That's an indicator that like, no, I don't need that energy in my life. And I literally am the queen of cutting people off. And like, I love to find not really, but like, I feel like that's an Aquarius thing or whatever. But anyways, like cutting people off, like, yes, I will do it if necessary, because I don't want people like, sucking energy for no reason. Like the people you are around, you want them to give you life, And so that is one reason you have to protect your energy. Another reason to protect your energy is it really helps you to stay grounded. And so this is the part that I think that I'm not good at, because when you're connected and grounded and you feel like you're in control of your energy and you're centered, that's a good thing. And I think that a lot of times if you're, stuck in your thoughts, or you're like never present in the moment, I don't think that you're super connected to your energy. And that's what I think I struggle with most. And so I think it's important to be grounded and to be centered. And that can really just like alleviate like the overthinking and those kinds of things, because you're connected with your energy, like you're protecting your peace. You know what I mean? So another reason that it's important to protect your energy, like I was kind of saying, you're in control. So protecting your energy helps you stay in control of your own life. When you're not protected from negative energy, you're more likely to be influenced by the thoughts and feelings of others, and this can make it difficult to make your own decisions and to live your own life. And so I feel like a lot of times like social media is a place where it's really hard to like protect your peace and protect your energy, because also like you are what you consume, like you are what you eat, like you are what you consume online. And so when you're always seeing like certain types of content, then when you're consuming that, I think you're opening yourself up. You're like putting down your boundaries to allow whatever is on the internet to come in. And like that can be a really negative experience and one of those, energy suckers. So, there's a lot of ways and, things in our life that need to be protected and boundaries need to be set in place, honestly, just to protect your energy, because giving your energy to something like social media and falling into comparison and things like that can be really detrimental to your energy source. And I just think that it's one of those things that it's like, if we can put boundaries in place, like why wouldn't we? Because honestly, those things are going to be there to help us and support us and to help protect us. So that's why it's important to protect your energy. It's your life source. It's how you interact with the world, and we want to be mindful of that. And so how do you protect your energy? So there's a lot of ways that you can protect your energy. And so one of the most important ways, I've kind of already mentioned this, is going to be setting boundaries. And this means, saying no to things that you don't want to do or taking on too much. No is a complete sentence. I've seen this like all over the place, but like no is a complete sentence. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to give like a million reasons why you can't do this thing. Like, thanks, but no. Like, not for me. Like, it's okay to say no, and setting boundaries is really important in protecting your energy, and it's a really good thing to do. An example of setting a boundary, okay, let's say you like don't want to unfollow somebody on social media, but it's like seeing this kind of content just really sends you off the deep end into a spiral. It's okay to mute or block people on social media. Like, I don't know why people get so butthurt about it. Like, who cares about followers? Who cares about that? I don't get that. If something is sending you into a spiral, or some kind of content that you're seeing is negative in any way to you, unfollow, mute, whatever you got to do. Like, it is okay to do that. I don't know why people are so afraid. Like, nobody knows if you mute them. Like, like nobody is gonna look and be like, did so-and-so look at my story? Like, who cares? If they are doing that, like, who cares? But I think it's important to protect your energy, especially online. Like, unfollow people. If you're on TikTok and you see something on your For You page that's like negative, hold down on the video and it says like not interested, like I want to see less of this. Do those things to protect your energy online, because I think that is, if you're online and you're on social media a lot, then that's important to set those boundaries, or like literally just limit your screen time. Whatever you got to do, it's important to do it. I've muted people online before. Like, sometimes you got to do it. It's okay. And like, who cares? Like, if somebody says something about it anyways, like that makes them look silly. Like, do what you got to do to protect yourself. Okay. So anyways, that's on setting boundaries. Okay, another way to protect your energy is to ground yourself. So like connecting with Earth's energy can be a way to stabilize yourself. And I think this honestly is like so underrated. Literally, when you go outside, like the sun, I feel like being in nature is just really one of those ways that you can really like become centered, and it's a good way to protect yourself, protect your energy. And so like walking barefoot, like sitting by a tree, just being outside, being in nature, it's just a really positive, powerful source of energy. And I think that you can actually like absorb energy from other things. So I feel really grounded, really centered when I'm outside and just being one with nature. So I think that's a really good practice, a really good way to protect your energy. Another way to protect your energy is to shield yourself, which I kind of feel like this is kind of ties into boundaries, but creating a protective barrier around your energy field, like nothing's coming in, like I'm not letting anything out, putting up a barrier, shielding yourself. And, one way to do this could literally be mantras or affirmations. and just like, I'm not letting my energy get penetrated today. Like, yes, things are going to come my way that want to like hit the energy field, hit the shield, but let it bounce off. You know, you don't have to give energy and like give attention to these things that don't deserve your attention or your energy. You know, somebody cuts you off in traffic. My energy shield is protecting me. I'm not bothered by this. Really just like not being bothered and not letting things bother you. Like, obviously that's easier said than done, but honestly, you got to do it to protect your energy. Otherwise, you're giving energy to things that literally don't matter. Like, if you don't care about it, don't give your energy to it. It's like that kind of thing. If you like, who cares if somebody cuts you off in traffic? They didn't make you wreck, so you're fine. Nothing happened. Like, why are you gonna sit and be like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe, literally, who cares, you know? Be like, oh, well, they cut me off. I hope that they get to their destination more quickly now. Like, literally, who cares? You know, it's like things like that. Obviously, some things deserve your attention and your energy, and you know, it's important to give your energy to, but things like that literally don't matter to you. Why are you giving your energy to it? So that's one way to protect your energy, is to put up a shield, put up unbothered. You know, I'm unbothered. I don't care. So another way to protect your energy is obviously to take care of yourself. Self-care is really important. So this kind of ties into like the physical side of your energy, but like nutrition, the things that you're putting into your body matter. Getting enough sleep, exercising, those are things that can protect your energy because they're giving you energy. So for example, some things that are energy givers, I found this on Pinterest. It's like this little list of like energy givers and energy takers. So I just kind of want to talk about some of these things. But some things that are energy givers: a glass of water, sunlight, nourishing food, exercise, laughter, self-care, meditation, visualization, reading, sleep, journaling, writing. All those kind of things can be energy givers, and it's important to seek those things out in your day-to-day life. Find, you know, little areas in your life when you have time, and just like pick one of these things that will give you energy, replenish you, fill your cup up. And I think it's important to do that in order to protect your energy, because our energy is vital to our life. It's very important that we protect our energy. So some other ways to protect your energy would be avoiding negative people and places. And sometimes I feel like there are some places that just are like anxiety inducing, and it really does kind of drain your energy. Maybe if you don't even realize it, but like these kind of things can drain your energy. Like, I'm trying to think of an example, but maybe there's like a store that you're like, this is overwhelming, this is giving me anxiety, like don't go in that kind of store, or do a pickup order from that store. You know, if Walmart's really overwhelming to you, maybe just do Walmart pickup. Like, there are little things throughout your day. It's like, there's the easier solution. There's a better solution here, like implemented, and maybe it won't like drain so much of your energy, because really you have to be in control of where you're putting your energy and like where it's flowing. You have to be intentional about that. So obviously, negative people, cut them out. Like, I mean, like, obviously you can't cut everybody out of your life, but like I feel like it's such a notable difference when you're like you're just like interacting with people who are so negative, like not the vibe. Or like if you listen to podcasts or, you know, watch YouTube, whatever, there are some creators who are just like always complaining. And then there are some people that are inspiring, and like just pick the inspiring content to consume. Pick the inspiring friend to call up. Nobody wants to like get a call from that friend that's like, oh my gosh, like, okay, like let's get to it, like the good stuff. Like, it's so negative all the time. You know what I mean? So obviously, you know, you want to be that positive, inspiring, energetic friend too. And it's really about how you expend your energy. And so obviously, if you want to have energy for your friends, energy for the people you care about, you got to diminish the energy that you're giving out to like the person who cut you off, the person who messed up your Starbucks, or you know what I mean? It's like you have this ball of energy, whatever. pick and choose who you're giving it to. Conserve energy in some areas and like be more generous with your energy in other areas, because really you are in control of your energy. You have this little ball, put up the shields, the boundaries, the protectors in place, and give and take your energy like where you want to. So, yeah, I think that really another way to protect your energy would be to, through meditation or prayer. Those are both powerful ways to connect with your inner source of strength and peace. And whenever I feel like it's a really good way for me to like get negative energy out. And when I'm like praying, I feel really connected with my energy source. And so I think that's a really good way. Like if you're anxious, like praying, or if you just like need like filled up with something, I think that's a really great way to protect your energy as well, and to like kind of, get right, get recentered, get back on track. So those are good ways to protect your energy. So controlling your energy, like I said earlier, energy flows where intentions go. No, energy flows where intention goes. So setting intentions and being intentional with how you spend your energy is really important. And if you want to be in control of your life and setting up, systems in place to become the highest version of yourself, you really have to take into consideration energy and how you're using your energy and protecting it in order to become that highest version of yourself. And so I think obviously this is a really important topic, and I hope you guys got something from this episode. I hope it was helpful, useful. You found some ways to protect your energy and to conserve it, or to use it in whatever way that you choose and see fit, whatever way that will lead you to become the highest version of yourself. So if you enjoyed this podcast episode, I would love if you could leave a 5-star review or rating if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And if you're watching, like, subscribe, comment, all the things on YouTube. And you can find me on Instagram to stay more up to date. I always post like when a new episode is live, so you can follow me on Instagram at Iralyn12. And yeah, I'm just super excited to keep sharing more about my life, what I'm learning, how I'm becoming the highest version of myself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.